My name is the Local Misfit, and I am a dirt bike noob. I am also a man who has a delusion of riding a Hare Scramble the very first year I learned how to ride dirt bikes. So with me being a noob and with me wanting to do Hare Scrambles, I'm gonna want pull handles on my bike, and that's exactly what we do in the video today. We make a pull handle for the rear and a pull handle for the front of the bike. In fact, I made them out of a $5 dog leash from Walmart, which you think would make them really ratty, but they actually work pretty well. I've had them on the bike for a while now, and very happy with it. That being said, I am shooting this intro quite a bit after the fact of me shooting the original video, just because there's some errors on the original footage, but I hope this suffices. And beyond that, let's get on to the video. So here she is, and I plan on putting a grab handle right here, looping around like that, and then a grab handle right here in the back. I'm going to loop from this bolt over to this bolt. So that's the plan. And you may be asking yourself, what are we going to use for material? Ha! Glad you asked. We're going to be using these. This is just a $5 dog leash from Walmart. So what I'm really interested in is this material, and I believe most people call it webbing. At least when I rock climbed, that's what we called it. You can see if you look closer that it kind of looks like a seatbelt material. So it's pretty strong stuff, and overall I think this whole thing was $5 for me. Some other alternatives that people use are ratchet straps. So here's some webbing from a ratchet strap. Again, it's kind of thin, but this stuff's pretty tough. It would work for that. Ideally, I would be using this. This is tubular rock climbing webbing, and I love this stuff. It's very strong, it's very flexible. However, I don't want to use this stuff because it's going to clash with my bike, and I don't have a store near me that sells climbing webbing. If you live near an REI, I would highly recommend you go there and get some tubular webbing, because I believe they sell this by the foot, and you wouldn't need much for this project. Here is another version of some climbing webbing that's strewn about like spaghetti. This is not tubular, it's a bit more dynamic, a bit more rugged, but it's still very strong stuff. This stuff's meant for rock climbing, so it would definitely work for what we're doing. But I don't want to ruin my ratchet strap. That doesn't match. That does for now, but I'm going to be changing the plastics on my bike next year to black, and I'm probably going to use teal graphics, so that won't look good. So we're going to use the $5 dog leash. So what I'm going to do first is measure the distance I need from the bolt to the bolt and from the back bolt of each fender. And I think I'm probably going to double up on this stuff. I don't think I need to, but figure why not? I got the material. Okay, I think that's good height. I'll cut there. So that's about what it will look like. It'll actually be a bit more shortened because it's going to be tucked into the fairing. So it should end up looking about like that, which is perfect. I think that's sleek, and I can still get my hand underneath that quite well. So I'm going to go cut another length of that, and so we'll have two this length essentially. And then I'm going to have my lovely wife sew both of them together. Alright, so now we're at the front of the bike, and this one's a bit tricky. You can probably see the dimples right here and here. That's where the bolts are. So the bottom of the fender is connected to the triple tree via bolts going from down up, and there's four. So there's one right here, and behind it there's a third and a fourth. They're in a straight line. So my original idea was, well, I'll run this straight back, so I'll have bolts like 1 and 4 through here, and then I'll loop it around and have bolts 2 and 3. But if I do that, it's going to be a pretty thin loop. It's going to be like that. I just don't like how close that is together. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm not even going to put the webbing through the front bolts. I'm just going to put it through the rear bolts. So that way the webbing can come out further out. So it'll still taper in towards the rear bolts like that, but it'll be able to swing past the two front bolts. So I have a wider grab handle, and that way I don't have to have so much material coming out this direction. Alright, so that was the length I came up with, and I'm not gonna lie, I pretty much just eyeballed that. I was able to get the webbing close enough to the bolt, so I'm fairly confident this is going to work out. It's at the length I want. So we'll cut that, and then we'll cut a double length.
The next day.
We got a loop here for the front fender, loop here for the bottom fender. What we need to do now is to put holes in the webbing for the seat bolts to go through. A couple ways that you can get holes in here. I'm just going to use a soldering iron. So I got a soldering iron heating up. Pretty sure this stuff is a nylon compound. So here are our finished products. I got the rear strap right here, including the holes. My razor work wasn't the most graceful, but very sturdy band. It's gonna work well. And then here's the one for the front fender. Bolt holes are a bit smaller, so I did some smaller work. All right, let's go throw that rear one on the bike. Alrighty, we got the rear strap on there, and I'm very happy with it, with one exception. The exception is that by putting the strap here, it has caused the fairings back here to have a bigger gap, but I can live with that. I love the color. I love how the arch is pretty uniform. It's gonna work excellent. I can even push it down flat. Perfect, perfect. Okay, I got my flashlight on. You can see that the webbing avoids the front bolt, but it goes back into the fender and connects to the rear bolt. So here's the underside of the fender. The webbing's connected to these two bolts. So it connects to this bolt, avoids this one, wraps around, avoids that one, and then connects to that one. But it's doing so on the top, so it's bolt, fender, rope, frame. And this is what it looks like. This one is a bit more movable, and I really like it. I like that from the front. It probably can't even tell it's webbing. Looks pretty good from the side, pretty good from the top, and feels very secure as well. So that is brand new pull handles for my 2005 CRF 250R that I made out of a dog leash. So that is how I made the pull handles for my bike. I use the rear all the time for putting my bike on the center stand, also when I put my bike on my trailer because I don't have a ramp. And I've used the front a couple times, including my very first crash, which is in the Nothing Coming video. And I was able to completely pull the bike out of the brush with just this front pull handle. It worked incredibly well for a $5 dog leash for not having any grommets. I'm simply amazed how well they're doing. So if this is something you're interested in and you want to do, I highly recommend you give it a go. Beyond that, I just thank anyone that's watching this. I have a very small YouTube channel, so if anyone made it this far in the video and you're still watching, I greatly appreciate you and the fact that you stuck around and found hopefully some enjoyment in this. I love doing this stuff and I want to keep doing it. So yeah, thank you if you made it this far in the video. I appreciate you. But that's enough of the video. It's going on long enough, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.